Test two, one, two, three. People, hey, how we doing? What's going
You think he's
on?
so
What's
cute.
going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What up? What up? What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Three Clarks Podcast. I am your host, Dwayne.
Hey, I'm Shantae.
Hey, I'm Jeffrey.
Oh, Jeffrey. Yeah, Jeffrey's there. Oh, my bad.
Hey, you
And that's
cut me off.
Jeffrey.
Hey,
We
man.
are the Three Clarks Podcast, and welcome to Thursday Night Live. And we're here once again, just hanging out, talking junk, hanging out, talking junk, and talking about what is going on in the world. I want to
Yeah.
thank everybody for joining us and everybody who's on Instagram and Facebook and joining us. And tonight we have a special guest. Hey, LaShawn, what's going on, Lulu? How you doing? We have a special guest tonight, so
I know.
I want to
you
introduce our
you
special
They
guest.
calling people whole name when
Whatever.
they got an abbreviation.
I want to introduce our guest. No, I'm sorry. I want Shantae to introduce our guest, fashion designer. Go ahead and introduce our special guest for the night, Shantae. One, two, three. Go ahead, Shantae.
Wow. Okay, so this young lady hails from California by the way of Georgia, by the way of uh, the Winston family. Uh, she is near and dear to my heart, 12 years younger than me, and still
12.
vibing and 12 years younger than me
Wow.
and still vibing like a boss babe. And she comes to us bringing the fashion design tips, and you know what it is. It's my little sister Brittany.
Okay. I'm sorry, Brittany. Hey. So the owner and designer of Modasis Fashion, which is I'm gonna let her get the sustainable fashion line. She also
Did
is
she
a partner.
say she was talking about that tonight?
No, I'm just giving her bio. I'm giving her bio. I'm not saying she's talking about that. I'm giving her bio. Can I talk about who we have?
Friends.
Good Lord have mercy.
Friends.
So her bio,
We need to be prepared, okay?
her bio. She is a fashion designer. Also, one fourth, one third of Gift and Sis. Gifts. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Let
So
you just say it.
I didn't write none of this down, so you know who we are. So that's what it is. So okay, so go ahead and introduce yourself real quick, Brittany, and then tell people who you are, and then if you want to put your social and your website out there, that's fine, and then we'll get into
Social.
topics.
Your social.
All right. Hello, hello. My name is Brittany. I am a fashion designer and a woman of many talents. Let's put it that way. I do have an online store, not too much on it, but it is on Etsy. If you want to look for it, it is at Modasis Fashion on Etsy. And you can follow me on social media at Modasis Fash or my personal account at briggs with a Z 18. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Right.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Now, all right, people. Here we just talk. We just here for the mess. The mess that's going on in the world right now. How you doing, Shantae? You doing all right?
Sure.
Okay, Jeff, you doing all right?
I'm all right.
Okay, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. What we gonna talk about? We got a lot about to talk about. Let's talk about what's going on. So, Texas. Y'all heard about what's going on in Texas?
About
So
the power
they had a
grid.
bad snowstorm, right?
Correct.
I saw toilets freezing over.
Yeah.
Toilets. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord, what?
Yeah.
Toilets freezing over because they didn't have power. So
Yeah.
it's not like they could heat up the place.
No power, no heat, and the
So
pipe
your
busted.
booty was cold trying to
Nothing.
sit on the toilet? That is
Listen,
Well, I
not.
hope they
Frozen
didn't.
toilet water is all
That
I'm
is
gonna say.
not
How
the
do you
business.
even deal with that?
Ew.
And this is the parts of Texas they're not used to cold, so they
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
I need to hit up my
Yeah.
girl that lives in Texas and ask her if she cool.
So yeah, so Texas is currently
That's
going
kinda
through
crazy.
a once in. If y'all can see it on the screen now, Texas is going through a once in a lifetime, snowstorm. So most of Texas, where it's like 80, 90 degrees most of the year round, is a snowstorm. So people are posting on social media where their pipes are busting and their Their apartments are flooded, or people don't have power. Nobody has heat. People are getting carbon monoxide poisoning because they're using their car. People are camping out in the middle of their
Wait a
living
minute,
room.
wait a minute, wait a minute. They're getting carbon monoxide poisoning because they're using their car.
So what they're doing, they're closing the garage down, turning the car on, and turning on the heat.
How
Yeah.
how idiotic is that?
They're cold.
But
They're
that's if you don't
freezing.
have heat in your house. You don't have
Exactly.
heat,
People
you
are
have
freezing
power,
out there.
I
It's like
mean,
20 degrees or below.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
in this situation,
Mhm.
they need to like get some firewood. Like they need to go chop a tree.
People are burning their own furniture.
A lot of people don't have fireplaces. This is parts of Texas that they never
Yeah.
have.
These people have
Right.
pools. They got pools and
Yep, they
stuff
got
like that. They ain't got no fireplaces.
Yeah.
They got barbecue pits. Some people have. I seen one of my Facebook friends. They took their barbecue grill, which was a charcoal grill. They hooked the hose that goes to your back of your dryer, and stuck it on top and ran it through the house and lit the coals on fire. Which that's
Wow.
dangerous too.
Right, because
That's
smoke inhalation.
smoke inhalation. Correct.
I mean,
Oh
but I
my
need y'all to
gosh.
think a little bit. I mean, I understand, but I need y'all to think.
These people have no. They have
So
no
let me
power.
ask you, they can't get out of the state at this point?
You know how many people in the state?
Yeah.
I mean,
All
is
right,
anybody
stop.
trying to leave?
Think about what happened with us when it came to snowpocalypse.
snowpocalypse.
7 years
Which
ago.
wasn't even snowpocalypse.
So think about all those people that were stuck on the roads, couldn't go nowhere. Now these
Yeah.
people are stuck in their homes, and this is Texas. Texas is known for 90-degree weather in January.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They don't have transit system.
Everything shut down. They're not used to it. That's what I'm saying. Remember how snowpocalypse happened? They couldn't salt the roads in Georgia. Think about Texas 3 times that.
And
Interesting.
everything is so far apart. I heard it takes forever just to even get somewhere. I saw
Yeah.
pictures of people walking on a highway.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, that happened
Yeah.
here.
So it's just
Like,
ridiculous what's going on right now in Texas. So these people, I pray for these people because they need some help with what's going
Yeah,
on.
but I'm gonna need them to not be turning on their cars and putting down a garage. That's a little extreme. I mean, I understand. I get it.
It's the way of the world. Is what's going on. They trying to survive. They trying to survive the heat. People got wrapped up in everything they own. I seen one person on the news. They had winter coat on. They had 5 sweaters. They had 2 hats on. They just standing there like freezing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Now speaking of Texas, so you know what I say I'm staying out of politics, but Ted Cruz, Trump's the orange man's lapdog or puppy.
His puppy.
Yeah, his puppy
Yeah.
is a
Look, his puppy.
yeah, his puppy because he runs up behind him. He's like, "Oh, get out of here, dog!" And then he runs up right behind him. No.
Get out of here, dog.
So he's a Texas senator. His state is losing power. Their
It's in
power
a state
grid
of an emergency.
in a state of emergency.
Yeah.
Guess where Ted Cruz is?
He in Cancun.
He's in Cancun hanging out with his family
He in
On
Cancun.
vacation.
on vacation. Now, I'm saying people can go on vacation and do what they want
Let
to
me
do
ask you, did he go on vacation prior to the apocalypse?
right when it started to hit.
Like
to
yesterday,
toxic,
right?
what we gonna call this? The
Yeah.
toxolypta.
Toxic.
Wait a minute.
Talk so what now? Say that one more time.
Wait, to toxolypta. Wait, apocalypse.
So Robin said a friend of hers went to 3 places they out of firewood. Things are too far apart. Never seen a movie where people kill folks with a car running close. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm just looking at the comments. The people commenting on here.
People,
So-
people's apartments was flooding because the pipes are busted.
Yeah. The pipes are busted because I guess water settled in one part of the pipe and freeze,
Yeah.
busted, and then water still flowing on the other side. So you got water flowing all over these places.
Yeah.
People roofs leaking apartments because they don't know what to do. It's ridiculous. It's literally bad out there. Roofs are falling in because so much snow fell on top of it, and they have
I
no
saw
roof.
some pictures of that too. Of
You saw that?
people-
Yeah.
They
I was
had
like,
their ceiling fan and they had water dripping. Well, really, it was icicles dripping out from
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
ceiling fan. I'm like, Wow.
And that happened because the ice, the water, the rain, and then it turned into ice and it just hardened and it just sat up there and got heavy and just fell in.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I've been praying for these people out in Texas. They nearly it's bad out there.
We're
But
going through it.
I'm going back to Ted Cruz. He decided he represents the state of Texas. He's their senator. He should be out there finding some FEMA relief and out there passing out toilet papers and firewood. That's what he should be doing. He should have his snowmobile riding around to people in his big old Texas truck. But no, he's in Cancun sitting
yeah,
on
go to Cancun.
sipping on a margarita.
Right. Watching like, damn, I hope y'all be
I heard he
straight.
came back though. He came back after.
Yes, after he got a whole bunch of backlash, he decided he won't come back.
And do what?
That's what I'm trying to think.
Exactly.
What you gonna do?
If
If
you
I was,
You
I was-
might as well have
before,
just
what you
stayed.
gonna do now?
Nah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Just stay in your butt, finish your vacation, come back
Stay
and deal
over
with it
there.
afterwards.
Right. You already got the backlash, so you might as well just stay. I mean,
Hey, this is why senators don't need to have a term limit, man. These dudes
Yes.
be
Mhm.
in Senate forever, and then nah, man.
Don't be doing
I mean, but they
nothing.
gotta keep rerunning, right? Like once you get hired, you don't have to rerun.
You don't have to rerun. It's a 2-year term for senators.
But yeah,
But they don't have term limit. They can
there's
run.
no maximum. There's no limit.
Like you could
can
just
keep
run
running
again
forever.
Right, they
and
can
run
keep
again.
running.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay. Our fact checker Dante, here we go. Dante said, as a senator, his job is to go between the state and federal government lobbying to get federal relief. He's poor excuse for a public official. That's true, 100%.
Yeah.
Poor excuse for a public official. I just don't have no respect for the man. You know, now the president, the orange man,
Dog.
talk about you politically is one thing. He talk about you
Yeah.
not doing it for your stage, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. But when you start talking about the man's wife is ugly, and I don't know why you married her. Oh, you didn't know that orange man talked about Ted Cruz's wife?
Yeah.
well,
Funny
first of
that.
all, Ted
Like,
Cruz,
right.
Ted Cruz should have did like Ghost
Okay.
when they started talking about his wife and saying his wife was ugly like a dog. He went off on social.
I'm sorry, Dante. Senators' terms are 6 years. They get 6 years,
It's 6
not 2 years. It's 6 years.
Ooh, he went off.
6 years, but you can run
y'all,
as many times as you want.
on
Yeah,
Mari.
it's ridiculous.
That is
Well, well, that's what it is. So,
So,
a couple people passed away tragically. So, Rush Limbaugh passed away. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
We just say rest in peace, condolences to his family. Rush Limbaugh passed. Anybody want to say anything else about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna mention it, people. If there's shade, yeah, there was definitely shade. I don't even say shade. I'm just, but you know, you don't talk ill about the dead. He died of cancer, and you know, we got our
Yeah.
cancer stuff. So we're going to put that up at the end of the show. But you know, he died of
What?
cancer. Rush Limbaugh. Yeah, I'm not gonna say nothing, but he's passed. We'll talk about it next week about who he really was and what he thought about us.
oh, jeez.
But I'm just saying,
Do we have to?
we don't really have to. So
I'm not.
rest in
giving-
peace.
Look, I
Ted-
ain't giving
rest in peace,
power
Rush
to
Limbaugh.
somebody who don't deserve it.
That's all I'm saying. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying. I just want to talk. I just want to say that.
We're
So
just gonna leave it there.
just gonna leave it there.
We just
So
gonna set
okay.
it right over there.
All right, so let's condolences go out to Miss Nicki Minaj. Her father. You see him. See the beautiful picture of Nicki and her father right there. Nicki Minaj's father was killed in a hit and run in New York this past week. But the good part about the situation is they have caught the person, has turned himself in.
Oh, okay. Good.
The person, they did find the person and they have turned themselves in. So it's a shame. I know what it is to lose a parent. So I'm sending my condolences out to Nikki. I know she literally just had a child last year.
Did she?
Yeah, she had a child
I
last
really
year.
did not know that.
You know Nicki Minaj had a baby?
That's why
I
she
don't know,
wasn't
man.
making no music.
You know her name is Nikki Petty now.
Oh.
No, her real name is Nikki, Onika Petty. Because she got married. Her husband's name is Petty. Her last name is Petty, Petty.
Wow.
So her real name, her name is Onika Petty.
Oh.
Yes. So, but
Okay.
Dante, don't be that way. Don't
What'd
be
he say?
that way. The man
What did he
died.
say?
The man died. He said good riddance. I like the man passed away, Dante.
Who's he talking about?
You know, no, he's not talking about Nicki Minaj's fault. He's talking about Rush Limbaugh.
Okay.
Let's get it right. He's not talking about Nicki Minaj's fault. He's talking about Rush Limbaugh. let me paraphrase that. Make sure.
Sad face.
Sad face emoji. But no, let's say I want to just say, you know what? Rest in peace. You know, Nikki. Our prayers go out to you. You know, it's a tragic way. Your dad, I think he was like 64, 65. He passed away, and you know, she's got a lot of stuff going on in her family. But she just had a baby. She got married. She got some good stuff, but she got a lot of bad stuff. So, you know, hopefully everything works out. You know, on that front. So, Nicki Minaj's father passed away. So.
Right,
That
they
said,
did catch the guy. You said he turned himself.
they
in.
did. Yeah, he turned himself in this week, just yesterday. So they did catch the guy. So I will elaborate on that story next week if we have more details. They just caught him. So
All right, cool.
You're just moving around, aren't you?
I'm just jumping around. I'm
I'm talking about
Who,
you
me?
just dropping your pen and just
Oh, okay.
just doing stuff. I'm like, what are you doing over there?
All right, we're gonna talk about some sports. We're gonna talk a little bit about sports, and then we're
Yay.
gonna talk about sports. Talk about sports. So a couple of sports. It's sports related, but not sports related. Okay, you know what? Ain't nobody talking to me. All right, so one sports related. In breaking news, Carson Wentz was traded to the Colts. Saw that, Jeffrey?
Yes, I did.
You know,
Okay.
I mean, is that a good thing?
that's a good thing because you know what?
What?
His backup
Uh-huh.
is a black guy,
Okay.
first round pick, young
Okay.
guy, Jalen Hurts.
Uh-huh.
He got a raw deal at Alabama where he was a
Raw
star.
deal.
Yeah, he was a starter.
I mean, was it raw deal meaning terrible or raw deal meaning great?
Man, terrible.
Oh, okay.
He came in, he was doing good. Then Tua Tagovailoa came in and took his position. Then Tua got hurt.
Tua Tagovailoa. What?
Even I know who that is.
Exactly. He also know
Tua-
Tua Tagovailoa.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Yes, he's a Hawaiian
Tua
quarterback from
Tonga.
Alabama. Tua from Alabama.
Like Tua, look like
Lord
soccer
have-
Tua.
y'all can see. I'm gonna let y'all look at. Y'all want to see her face? Look at. I put y'all straight up on her face.
Just
So-
do a zoom in shot.
Let's zoom in on Shantae's face because she acting a monkey. Look at her. So
A Tua Tagovailoa.
don't mess up that man's
Do
name.
you like that?
Appropriate that man's name.
Don't appropriate his name.
Yes.
Appropriate.
Yeah. That's what I said. I said it. I said I'm gonna stick with it.
Don't appropriate his name.
Don't
Oh,
appropriate
okay.
his name. So, so going back to Jalen Hurts was in Alabama, lost his job to Tua in the championship. Shantae just realized we got graphics on the screen, and that, on the screen that are
It's
not on the
really
wall.
there.
She just
Oh.
realized the graphics on the screen
Looking up there.
is not on the wall. Yes.
Oh, that's pretty
Everybody in TV land can see that. Oh yes, you didn't know we
Oh,
upgraded.
That's
Oh,
pretty cool.
okay, Lord have mercy. Lord. Lord have mercy, please. Somebody come get this
Looking
woman.
for it. Look at it.
She's looking on the wall trying to find the graphics that we have. Literally, she's looking like, why? I can't see that. Okay, she's like, okay, because there's a TV back there. She's thinking, why I can't see that on the TV? Okay. Can we get back to the football, please? So Carson
Must
went,
be one
Jeffrey,
of them.
Carson Wentz went to
My head
Indianapolis.
hurt.
Yes, Dante, somebody got to help her, please.
My head hurt.
So she's excusing herself on this show. So Tua,
Tua.
okay, Carson, let's go back to the net. Philadelphia
Start
Eagles fired their coach,
Tua.
and then they sent their quarterback, their main quarterback, to Indianapolis. And now their backup is going to start because actually Carson Wentz took the team all the way to the Super Bowl and then broke his, what did he broke? His Achilles?
He
He
broke
broke
his
something.
Tua.
He broke something.
Well, it was like
broke
a
his
week or
Tua.
two before the Super, like a couple weeks before the Super Bowl.
No, it's before the playoffs.
Yeah, before the playoffs.
Before the playoffs, and then Nick Foles came in and took them all the way and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When was this?
This was 3-4 years ago.
I'm supposed to remember that. Okay.
No, Robin, she did not have a drink before the show. She just
My head hurts.
She just all over the place. So Jeffrey, Lord have mercy, I can't even get past the sports section because Shantae
Hurrying
is
on
dying.
up, gee. Okay, so they got to the fourth quarter and they scored a touchdown.
I'm gonna skip by that. Okay, Carson Wentz got traded in the Indianapolis Colts. It's gonna be good for football. Interesting.
All right.
Cause Jones. All right. Next subject. Lord have mercy. Tom Brady. Let's talk about Tom Brady.
Oh man.
So did y'all hear about Tom? There's a petition going around for Tom Brady, his company, to return PPP money.
He
His
should.
company.
That's how he won.
His
the
company,
Super Bowl.
Tom Brady's company,
He has a
got
company?
he got PPP money. Yeah, TB12. He's got a company.
Okay, what does the company do?
I don't have a clue what his company is.
His brand, TB.
His brand, they just manage him.
The company manages the brand.
Yeah. So they got $960,000 from
How many
PPP.
employees do they have?
That's the thing. It doesn't say how many employees he got.
Is it a private? Is it a private?
It's a
company?
private company. No,
They
you
got-
can't trade no stocks on
They
this
got, a,
company.
they got a website.
No.
Probably about 4 people that work there.
I'm trying to
Probably.
see why they need $996,000.
I don't know
Probably
either. That's what I'm trying to
his
say.
wife, his marketer, and maybe his website. Maybe.
He's trying to retain his employees.
Maybe.
So
But
he-
$996,000.
All 4 of them.
All they get money.
$996,000 worth.
Dante, fact check us, man. Tell me what's going on with this Tom Brady and his $960,000 fee.
But then you got people out there that really need a PVP and can't get it.
I need a PPP.
Right. Let me hold $960,000.
Let me just hold 100,000.
Well, think about this. There was a lot of fraud. I saw a lot of fraud. People got caught, but there was a lot of big corporations that took the money that gave it back that didn't really need it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but think about the companies the big corporations that did get it, that didn't say nothing, didn't get caught. They didn't need
Exactly.
it, but illegally they could get it. Legally they can get it, but
Okay,
they
so
didn't need
let's
it.
just talk about this for a
Okay,
minute.
go ahead,
because
let me
You have to apply for these loans.
Correct.
It's not like they just gave you the money.
Correct.
And I'm getting sick of people like, oh, they just got them. No, they applied for the money. That's how they got it. Because they applied.
Yeah. And
They applied. That's how they got it, friends.
And from what I'm seeing is a lot of these people who applied for this money, they didn't apply for, they applied for more than they got. Everybody applied for more than they got.
Right. So they got less,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they really wanted more.
Correct.
And they really
Yeah.
didn't need it.
Well, they probably asked for $1 million.
So they got 996,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Because remember, we talked about this on a show back last year when some dude in Atlanta had a trucking company and he got like 3 million, 2 or 3
Didn't pay
million.
Nobody.
Yeah, he was on Love and Hip Hop.
Love and hip hop. Yeah.
But he has
Oh,
a trucking
yes.
company,
Yes,
and he
yes.
didn't pay none of his trucking people, but he bought him a Bentley. No, he bought him
a
a
Ferrari,
Yeah,
a
and
Lamborghini,
Bentley,
and a
some
bunch of
jewelry. Yeah, this was one of our shows we did
Boy.
back in earlier.
Boy,
Yeah.
black people.
Oh,
You're supposed to pay it's payment protection, so you're supposed to
Pay
supposed
your
to
Pay
employee.
your employees.
your employees with that.
Because your business has gone down, so you needed that
Yeah.
money to play your employees.
To play.
To pay.
To play your.
To
play your
play,
employees.
well, he played them. He did.
Yeah,
Yeah, he played it just like he
He
did.
played them. You said it
You
right.
gotta-
He said,
Yeah.
jokes on y'all, I'm getting
That's
a
the-
new car.
And that's what everybody said. The bigger problem, as Dante said, the bigger problem is how did he get to the front of the line to get that money?
Because he was on Love and Hip
Tom
Hop.
Brady.
Because he was on Love and Hip Hop.
I'm talking
Anybody famous got the money.
Mm-hmm.
Show
Yeah.
damn did.
And then a lot of these other companies couldn't do nothing. They were sitting out
Right.
there looking crazy.
What about
Some people
Nancy's
had to
Pizza?
close,
They
yeah.
needed the money.
Huh?
Yeah,
But
some
you know
people had
what?
to close.
A lot of companies
Businesses
closed,
had to close.
and you know what? And I thought about this morning. This morning I went to show a house down on the south side of Atlanta, and I was driving. I was on Old National.
Oh, now that.
I was driving Old National, and I was looking left and right. There was a lot of restaurants and there was a lot of bars on Old National. When you drive down now, a lot of those buildings are shuttered. They're closed. And their business was food and stuff. And they as it was a big problem. A lot of people couldn't get the PPP money because
Or
the
they
banks said they
didn't
all
know
ran
how
out.
to- or they didn't know how to apply,
They didn't know
or they didn't think it was real, so they waited too long. So I mean, there's so many reasons why they might not have gotten the money because. You know, when you first heard about it, you had to go ahead and apply. It wasn't like you could have just waited around,
Yeah,
Right.
you know. So
it was.
I ain't gonna just say it was all of the other people's fault, but you know.
But from news reports, a lot of minority companies couldn't get a hold of this capital. A lot of they
I know
couldn't.
one minority company that got it.
Okay. But a lot of minority companies couldn't get a hold of this money because, like she said, either they didn't know how to apply or the banks that they dealt with was holding the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of these banks were holding the money. So it's like,
One
how does
company I
some.
know
Yeah.
did that. He applied, but he's like, man, I went to that bank, and that bank, you could clearly tell they weren't for our skinned people because
Mhm.
there were
Oh.
people who were walking around bragging about it, but they clearly
Dang.
weren't our skin color. And I was like, well, you sound like you need to change bank, brother.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
It was a big issue. It was a big issue. So a lot of people, and I think the Joe Biden, he's talking about changing up the format of like a lot of the minority companies that couldn't get the PPPs and those things.
So he gonna go back and give it to him?
Well, that's in the new stimulus package they're trying to pass.
Well, you know, so it's saying that there was an organization that I was reading about earlier today that put together a nonprofit organization. It's called, I think the name of the company is NEVA,
Mhm.
and it's a organization to help club promoters, clubs and things like that in entertainment nightlife that closed because of the pandemic.
Yeah,
And
they
they're
want
giving away grants. They're not giving away loans.
Well,
I have to get the information.
And there's another company. I've saw some celebrities because bartenders and bars and waitress staff, they have a special fund just for those people because all those people depended on tips.
Yeah.
You making $2 something an hour, you depend on tips, and a lot of those companies had the PPEs or the PPPs, and then the unemployment, and then when unemployment ran out, these people are looking like, okay, these bars can't open, but it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. Speaking of that,
Speaking of a mess.
I did see something I forgot to mention. I didn't even write this down. I will mention this since we're talking about sports. So on March 7th in Atlanta, we're having the All-Star Weekend, basketball All-Star Weekend. So the mayor of Atlanta, Ms. Keisha Lasbottom, put out something on Twitter, on Instagram, saying this All-Star Weekend should be a made-for-TV moment. We do not want people coming to town partying and all that. Then she captioned it, #WeFull.
Oh, please.
Hashtag
Oh,
what?
please.
#WeFull.
Ah,
That's how you stimulate the economy, Keisha.
Yeah, but it'll be a super spreader. All these people come to town for it's Atlanta, all these
Look,
bars
look.
and promoters.
They can all come in town and party amongst themselves. Us Atlanteans need to stay at the house.
Nah, because there's a lot of bars
Us
right now that
Atlanteans be the main ones
be the main ones. That's why
Out-
we
out
super
there
spread.
acting.
doing what they ain't supposed to do.
Exactly.
Out there in these streets, huh?
So I'm just saying, y'all stay. I'm gonna stay my butt at home. I don't know about y'all. I'm gonna stay my butt at home. I ain't messing with no All Star
You already
Weekend.
know.
Okay, so the company's called NIVA, National Independent Venue Association.
There you go. See, we don't only entertain, we educate. So
Yeah,
all right.
so if any bartender, not bartenders, but bar owners or nightlife companies that are looking for assistance, this company, in the NIVA, National Independent Venue Association, has funds through a nonprofit organization to be able to help support and get you guys back on track. So check them out.
All right. Oh, so a couple more stubbies, then we're gonna get into Brittany's subject. This is funny.
Did you
So
say Stubbins? A couple of more stubbies.
A couple more subjects, and then we're going to get into Brittany, our special guest, has requested this subject, so this is why we're going to be talking about it. So we're going to
We're
talk
gonna
about
get in a couple more stubbies.
a couple more stubbies. So y'all heard about
What the hell is a stubby?
y'all heard about the drama going on between Brian McKnight and his son Brian McKnight Jr.
So what's going on? Because the last thing I heard was like 5 years ago.
Are they having like a singing battle?
No. So currently, Brian McKnight Jr. put something on his social media talking about the fans need to stay out of family business because y'all know his music. Y'all know his music. The Brian McKnight Jr. Was telling fans they don't need to be interjecting into what's going on between him and his dad because they just know him by his music, but I actually came from his nuts. I was like,
Well,
what?
first of all, I just want to say this. When we was at the Raphael Warnock convention
Rally. Uh-huh.
and Brian McKnight was there,
Playing music on his computer.
he pulled out his laptop and he started playing the track and he kept backing it up trying to get it right so he could start singing. Brian McKnight is old. He can't be beeping on social media. No.
So Brian McKnight Jr. I think Jeffrey, the beef is still ongoing because Brian McKnight Jr. said that his dad abandoned him.
Yeah.
And Brian McKnight is saying, no, we're just estranged. I've been trying to get my kids jobs at certain places, and they don't want to stop smoking weed.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Brian
the first
McKnight can't
problem.
even get no
Yeah.
dang job. What are you talking about? He got somebody. He playing his own laptop. Back the song up.
You
He ain't
stupid.
even got no job. Hey, he trying to get somebody a job.
Oh.
I remember his sons were on tour with him for a minute.
Doing what? He can sing?
They sing a little bit.
They need to have a song battle. They need to have a singing.
Who?
They need to have a singing beef battle.
Brian McKnight, Brian Jr. and Daddy.
Junior Daddy. Oh yeah.
That's Jodeci. I'm sorry.
That sounds like that would be so bad.
It might not be though.
Just because you
I know. I'm
somebody-
gonna say though,
Okay.
Brian McKnight can still sing real good though. He really can. I was like, okay, man, I start back.
Oh, hey, I believe
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that man can still sing.
You showing your age. Ain't nobody know who Brian McKnight is.
Except for you, because this was your topic.
Whatever.
I know who Brian McKnight is.
Trying to put me on Front Street. I'm too old.
I'm just saying. So,
Don't
all right.
count us youths out. We know who Brian McKnight is.
Youths.
Youths.
How
Youths.
old can you be and still call yourself a youth? Is it 20? Is it 25?
I think you're over 30. You can't call you youth no more.
Over 30, 30 and below.
Over
Okay.
30 and above, you are no longer a youth.
You can no longer.
Excuse me, the
Yeah.
threshold goes up as I age. Thank you.
Oh, as you age, the threshold goes up.
Yes.
No, friend, you are no longer
No.
a youth.
Under 35.
Okay.
Okay, you still making mistakes like
Delusional.
a youth. That's 35.
Delusional.
I'm
Delusional.
gonna say no. That's
Okay.
going to be a negative.
All right, people.
Ain't
Okay.
time to talk about that. He moving us on.
I'm moving on to the next
He
subject.
like, okay.
So, how would you like it if the bank deposited $900 million in your account by mistake?
Shit, I'm gonna take that bitch out. Be gone.
Cash out ASAP.
So,
Right. They're gonna be like, man, why you trying to take all this money out? I just need, give me a cashier's check immediately.
Shantae so crushed, she knocking the phone down and everything.
Oh
So,
no.
so there is Citibank. I'm gonna read the story because I just pulled it up. Where's the story right now? Okay, Citibank can't recoup $500 million it accidentally sent. Judge rules. So, Citibank intended to make an interest payment loan of $7.8 million to Revolve lenders.
To who?
something called revolves lenders. Revolve. They were send the interest payment was $7.8 million they were supposed to be making. But the bank accidentally wired $893 million, an entire loan amount not due until 2023.
Oh,
So
wow.
somebody got fired.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Two somebody's got fired. Two somebody's got fired because one person had to put the wire transfer together and the other person had to approve it.
Yeah.
So two people got fired.
So they went to court to sue because some of the lenders actually returned the money, but another Revolve decided they're not going to return the $501 million because they're going to be do that money anyways. That money's supposed to do anyways in the next 2 years. So they didn't think it was a mistake. They was like, oh, okay, y'all just paying y'all loan early.
Yeah. Thank you for your payment.
Right.
Let me go ahead and send you balance paid in full. Let me go ahead and send you your PIL letter.
So everybody said, oh, so that's why if you see the logo, the man, I guess that Citibank logo is like $900 million. So a few people got fired because come on now, you send over that money. Now the thing is, they send the money over early, a couple years early. But the money's due to the people. So some people return the money, but the one lender wouldn't return the $501 million, and the judge said no, they got to return it because you was gonna eventually pay them anyways.
They don't have to.
They don't have to. So it's against the law if somebody transfers. So if they transferred me the $900 million, and I decided I'm gonna take $895 million out real quick, then I'm going to jail.
Right, because
that happened to a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The bank accidentally put like a couple $100,000 in their bank account,
And they spent it quick.
They bought everything, and then they got arrested.
Yeah, because it's like stealing.
Yeah.
Because that you know that the money wasn't yours, but in this particular case,
The money.
They had a contractual agreement to pay the money, and it doesn't specify that you can't pay the money early.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why
Yeah.
they can't force them to give the money back.
So that's funny. So anybody ever mistakenly sent y'all some money and y'all was like,
Hell no, ain't nobody ever did that for me.
Or your check, you looked at your check, you was like, ooh, okay. I got some extra money in my check.
That ain't never happened to me. That ain't never happened.
The time that would happen is if I worked some overtime. Be like,
well, first of all, okay, so you know how some people, you work for a company, right, and you get paid on a certain day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say the day is Monday.
Uh-huh.
Your check date is Monday. And then your check always get deposited on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I never worked at a place where my check got deposited early. My check always be on the check date.
Not mine. My check is
Well,
direct deposit. Direct
I think
deposit.
it depends on your bank.
It depends on your bank. Direct deposit, because now they got these
Green dot.
Get your check
time.
3 or 4 days early.
But I will tell you guys, it does depend on when the company transmits the file.
Mm.
Because if the company transmits the file on, let's say, a Tuesday, then typically the money is available on the green dot on the Wednesday. But if they don't do it until Friday, then you ain't gonna get your money till
Friday.
So, just
And
a
green
little
dot, that's people that
tidbit.
can't get bank accounts or something. I'm not.
They can get bank accounts. They choose not to.
Well, okay, so green dot,
Oh,
I
is
don't
that
think
why?
I don't think it lets you overdraw your
Oh,
account.
okay. Oh, yeah. Maybe people they've been overdrawing their accounts or something like that.
Right, I don't think it lets you overdraw your account.
What's in there, what's in there?
And
They'll close your bank account, right?
No, they won't close it.
they'll
Bank accounts close
They'll
it.
just decline the charge.
Yeah.
Like if you go to the store and you got, and the bill is $10.50, and you only got $10.25, they're not gonna let that go through.
Yeah, but a traditional bank, you know,
They'll
they'll let
let
you
it
go
go
up to
through.
$100,
They'll let it go through it.
and they like
charge
charge
you $34.
$35 till you put that every day. You gonna put that $35,
Look,
that
they
hundred
gonna
dollars
charge
in.
you $34 for that $1 you didn't have.
But
Yeah,
don't you need a bank account though?
you don't need them nowadays. Now, back then, probably like 5, 6 years ago, you needed a bank account. Now
Right,
you don't.
because you got Cash App, cards,
Venmo,
Venmo.
PayPal.
Right, you got
Uh,
all these
you
different
got
places
so many
that
online banks nowadays. You
and
don't need a
that you
bank
get a
account.
debit card
So,
and everything.
So
so
nowadays, you don't need a bank account.
really,
Mm.
so you can go
Hmm,
in life without a bank account. You can.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
it's
is
still an
crazy to me.
account. I mean, but even
traditional bank. Let's rephrase it, a traditional
traditional
bank.
bank, because even
Okay.
with like Cash App, it has like a routing number, an
Mm.
account
Yeah.
number.
Mm-hmm.
You can get direct
Okay.
deposits to that junk and everything.
Okay.
Because I
Mm-hmm.
know with PayPal, if you have an account with them and you keep your money in that, they do business loans. They do loans like a regular bank, and they'll just
So they
deduct it from
trying
your
to
account.
become like a traditional
Yeah, because I
bank.
know somebody personally who says they've got almost like 100,000 from PayPal, and they just take it from the because they got a business account with PayPal, so they just take it from their account and they paid it back within like 2 years or something. So it's just a business account. So
Okay.
all right, so we jumped off subject. Okay, now, all right, let's get into the nitty gritty of why we have our guest on. So, Miss Brittany, our special guest,
Brittany?
Brittany,
Who is Brittany?
you wanted to speak about it.
I
You're
go
one of
by
our
variety.
our favorite, one of our regulars who support us and watch our show, and you asked for this subject to be spoken on. So I want you to go ahead and tell me. We're talking about Britney Spears. Brittany's gonna talk about Britney Spears and framing Britney. So me and Shantae actually watched the documentary today because we said if we didn't watch the documentary, how are we gonna talk about the subject? So go ahead and tell us about the subject you wanted us to talk about.
Yes, so it's funny because I grew up listening to Britney Spears. I know. You're like, oh, you ain't black for real, listening to all
Oh,
that.
oh. First of all, Britney Spears had a big old juicy booty. I was like, dang.
Did she? I don't remember that,
Yes,
but
I
okay.
went back
yes,
and
she
watched the
did.
documentary.
She had a juicy booty. I was like,
Okay.
what in the world? This white lady looked like a black lady.
Okay. All right. That's what
Girl,
she said.
anyway.
Okay.
She
But
did that.
she
Mhm.
was such an influence because she always it wasn't just about her music, but it was about her being almost like the all-American sweetheart who in the midst of all these boy bands was like one of a few of the female pop stars that had this crazy rise to fame with Christina Aguilera and various others. But
Mhm.
this documentary that was made by the New York Times went into detail about what has really been going on with her because she's known not just for her rise to fame, but really her big breakdown in shaving her head and her kids' custody battle and all the stuff that she's known for. But this documentary went further into not just what happened with that and why, but what's really holding her back from producing more music, from doing more tours. And it's all based around her legal battle around conservatorship. Now, I had no idea what that was until I watched this documentary. And of course, because I loved her, I wanted to watch it as well. And it just shined a light on how twisted the legal system is, number one, and
Mhm.
how twisted the paparazzi were and just Hollywood in general. So a conservatorship is where you well the person in question.
Well, let me interject because I was right. The conservatorship I was looking at, most of
Oh, you're just
conservatorship is for older people.
right, right. It's meant for people who do not have the mental capacity to take care of themselves.
Hmm.
Like, it's not meant for young people at all. It's meant for people who are deteriorating mentally. And really can't take care of their financial assets or their situation or anything, and so they put a conservator over them or over their decision making
Yeah, so they
in
don't get.
Well,
order to in order to I guess keep up their, whatever they have going on. And so they put Britney Spears in a conservatorship. So her father was named her conservator later. I mean, they went all the way through it, but
Yeah.
he is in charge of her money and decision making. Like she is not able to handle it all because of her mental breakdown.
well, here's
And
my thing about it, though. I have
there's
to
a lot of things
say,
about it.
so with this conservatorship, and I know everybody keeps saying it's for old people. It's for people who cannot handle their business from a mental capacity, right? So if you're older, typically you don't recover, right? But when
Hmm.
you're young, you have the ability, your mind still has time and the ability to heal. I really feel like they did that as a grab because they could have gotten power of attorney over her affairs and did the same exact thing. But then power of
Right.
attorney has a time limit on it. So, you
Right.
So
know,
let
That's
me.
why I was trying to figure out why of all the different type of legal actions that they could have taken, they
right.
chose a conservatorship, which is basically once you enter a conservatorship, because it's normally for older people, they didn't really have a way for you to get out of it.
And not to
So,
mention, just because she shaved her head doesn't mean she crazy. There's people that do that junk all the time to cleanse
hmm
away the past or do this or do that. I mean, can you stop hitting the
and
mic?
she went off on the paparazzi because they were stalking the junk out of
The
her.
paparazzi, they've gotten better. I think they changed certain laws, but back then,
After
I
that, I'm
saw
sure they did.
they're terrible. They are. I'm not even famous, and I don't like the paparazzi because they're always, people will go to clubs and doing this thing. The people all in their face and asking them 10,000 questions and flashing cameras and won't let them drive where they need to be or hang out with their families or eat
Hmm.
food. So
Right, or
I
go
think
to the
if
grocery store or
a grocery
church
store,
or
none
like
of that stuff.
anything.
So now if this stuff would happen to Brittany now, of course they would have been classified mental health. Back then, everybody made fun of her. All the
Hmm.
nighttime talk shows, the comedians, some
Yeah.
of the news reporters, they were all making fun of her, going crazy. Shaved her head, and I think she was just having a real breakdown of what was going on in her life,
I mean, but
and
was she really going crazy?
she was just having a mental breakdown.
I think she was tired.
Yeah,
You
so there's a
Right.
lot
know?
of
It looked
pressure
like
on
she was
her.
just tired of
I
the
mean, because she,
pressure and
right,
everybody and everything, which I
right.
don't blame her.
Yeah.
And
I
also,
wonder if Justin Timberlake feels bad about the part he played.
and he did, because
Listen
he did.
here. I was looking like,
I mean, I ain't
oh
gonna lie, I
no.
did like that video though.
He
Right.
was crying
Right.
in
Like
your
I
river, but
did.
he did come out with an apology to her and Janet Jackson just a couple of days ago.
Oh, he
Yeah.
did?
Yeah,
And he had
Yeah.
to after all of this media
And said
publicity they're
what?
putting on
Yeah.
him. They putting the fire under him, okay?
Yeah.
Why is he
Because the
apologizing
way
to
they
Janet
made him
Jackson?
look in the documentary, if you did not watch it, they it was like the way when she would get interviewed, they would pose the question saying,
it was her
"So what
fault.
did you do wrong in the relationship to where Justin Timberlake came out with a solo album and this song Cry Me a River with
And I
a
see,
girl
but
that looks like you?"
see, she had to
Yeah.
get a little backbone and be like, well, what you think he did?
Yeah,
Why is it always what I did? I ain't do
but they
nothing.
were attacking her, and I can see where they were attacking her and see stuff going on because I watched the documentary. But it's like Justin Timberlake came out with an apology to her and say back then, men, white men, we had all the power and they gave us this, that, and the other, and fame. So he had they said it was a half-ass apology to Brittany, and he apologized to Janet because when The titty popped out.
The titty.
When the titty popped out,
The
She
titty.
still
You
hasn't
know-
recovered from, honestly. I don't know.
What?
they just, he left her out in the wind. She's like, everybody was blaming her, but it's like, okay, he didn't step up and say nothing. So,
Oh,
She's still
God.
going through a bunch of lawsuits with that to recover from that.
Janet,
Lawsuit?
Yeah.
Janet,
Who sued
Yeah.
her for the titty?
well, family
the-
organizations have
yes,
sued
yes.
saying that my child watched that and they were traumatized and like,
Oh
Yeah.
please! When they sitting around watching mess like Orange is the New Black and Scandal on the scandalous scenes.
huh? What are you talking about?
What I'm saying is that parents be watching crazy stuff on TV, and then the one time somebody do something on accident, now you want to be suing Janet.
But okay, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate as I always do. The conservatorship with Britney, I can see why they did it because I was down around them. The guy she was getting with, I'm like, she literally getting with all these people that were getting for her money. Kevin Federline got with her for her money. The other dude, the
But
Indian
he
dude,
had 2 babies with her.
but he got with her. He didn't have no money. He had no money.
Had Shaw Jackson money.
Shaw Jackson ain't had no money. Shaw
Not
Jackson,
Britney Spears money.
exactly.
He may have
So
money,
why
but-
Kevin Federline, he got with
First of
her.
all, why
James,
couldn't he
according to
have
Britney
loved
Spears.
her? He might have loved her.
No, and then she had this little Indian dude who was around, and that's when the dad came in and said, okay, conversion, because that guy was trying to swindle her out of her money. That's what he was trying to do all along. It wasn't, he wasn't trying to be boyfriend. He had control of her life, her money. No, he was trying to take her money.
First of all,
And tried to pose
where-
as her manager. but
Exactly.
alone.
That's what he was trying to do,
For
steal that girl
preying
money.
on
so the whole
the
issue was,
fallen celebrities.
I understand what you're saying, but my whole thing is that her daddy was a was a drunk and a liar and a cheat.
No,
So-
they say he was a liar to cheat. They never said that in the documentary. They say he was a drunk and he had some failed businesses, but they say he was a liar
A
to cheat.
gambler. They
No,
said he was a gambler.
Did they say he was a gambler, Brittany?
Yes.
Oh.
And that's why she didn't want him to have no part of her money.
I don't remember
So
necessarily.
I don't remember
so my
that either.
question is okay, so conservatorship. You feel like that's the best answer. But why did you feel like you was the best person to do it? Why couldn't it have
Well,
been
of
her
course
mother?
he's gonna feel like he's the best person.
He's her daddy.
because That's
Yeah,
her
but what about
dad.
her mom?
But everybody else is like
The mom
"Oh,
that
we
sacrificed
don't
everything.
like him for a variety of reasons.
But
I
she
feel like
said,
Brittany is like her mom, weak and meek and like,
Oh,
oh,
her
I
mama
mean,
weak?
whatever you say.
Is the
kinda
mom and dad
goes."
still married? Aren't they still married?
Uh,
No, no. Okay, we don't know.
"Uh-huh."
I don't know. We don't know. All of us
I
saying.
Google
can't say,
it.
but I feel like Brittany and her mom have that same meek kind of personality, so it has to get pushed to a certain point before they say something.
So the dad had to be the strong one and save his daughter's fortune.
So why
Yeah,
is he taking a
but-
percentage of her money? So what's that all about?
I mean, I will say that they did say in the documentary that he set her up for a lot of stuff, like the Vegas shows. That was when she came back on the scene with Circus, their Circus album, which was a great album. And there was another album after that. But then it was like she started going through the custody battle again and something else to where she canceled her Vegas residency.
Yeah, because she
Was
wants
it another
to be.
mental breakdown?
Yeah.
But I guess my question is, and this is where I feel so torn about this situation, is that number one, it takes a lot to be an artist. Like you memorizing all the lyrics, going into the studio, making sure that it sounds right, getting your stage show together, making sure that that's right. The many hours of rehearsals, and then not to mention the pressure of just performing all of the different types of things that you have to do to stay on top. So at what point did she seem like she was incapable of handling her business? Because that's a lot to do.
Right.
I think when that Indian dude came in, I think he was starting to siphon money, and that's when they was like, okay, this is getting out of hand now. Let's get in there and
But
figure out.
why
what's-
not power of attorney? What's that noise?
My pen. Somebody Dante said she who's that? Britney Spears never was going to willingly sign a power of attorney. The power of attorney, you have to be. Someone has to. She has to willingly sign it. That's why they didn't do a power of attorney.
Right, because she didn't want her daddy to have control.
But she wouldn't have nobody have control then. You get a power of attorney by having someone willing and knowingly granted. Conservatorship is for people who don't have the power of attorney and they have lost ability to make informed
Right,
decisions.
they forcing her to do it.
I think she really
Yeah, I
informed.
feel like they're forcing her to do it still.
Yeah.
I think still she probably can get out of it, but I think back then when it happened, she needed it. That's my thoughts on it. She needed it because she just now seems like she's doing.
How many people have nervous breakdowns and they need a conservatorship over them?
How many people have so much money?
I
They
bet
have
you a lot of
nervous breakdown.
celebrities have. Mariah Carey had a nervous breakdown.
Did she?
A while back, yeah.
Yeah. But if
Yeah,
you're
but
not,
then it's like, okay, while that's happening, because there's so much money at stake, who's going to be in charge of that? But I don't feel like conservatorship was the right answer. But
Right.
I mean, that's bygones to be bygones now because she's already
Yeah.
in it. It's just a matter of
When
the
you gonna let her out
judge
of it?
Does not want to let her out of it. That's
And her daddy don't want to let her out of it either. Be honest.
right. I was about to say her dad want to keep collecting that check, and
The
that
one- the
judge
1.5%.
probably getting a cut of the check. Right. I feel like the judge has some ulterior motives too as to why he won't let her out of it because there's no good reason
Mm.
at this to me.
Mm.
I don't
Things
know.
What is
that
this
you
docu-
wouldn't even realize is going on. You're like, conservatorship? What even is that? What?
What'd you say, Jeff?
What is this on the documentary? Where can I watch
I
this?
think it's FX Hulu.
Hulu. We
Hulu.
watched it on
Okay.
Hulu.
Hulu. So she
I mean,
probably.
it was a pretty good documentary, though. I have to say.
It was cool. It was cool.
Now I did see a bunch of random people. You know, the mom didn't really speak. The dad didn't really speak on it. But it was a bunch of ancillary.
It was
individuals.
unauthorized. It's unauthorized. So she wasn't part of it. None of the family was a part of it. So
At the end, they said they asked them to speak, but they either
Refused.
did not answer or declined.
Yes.
But New York Times do check their facts, though.
Yeah, some of these people, yeah,
Right.
they checked the facts. So some of these people, like you saw the pictures of them with Britney at the time of this going back in the day. But
Yeah.
I think it's a larger problem when I think she had a mental breakdown. She had mental health issues. If this would have happened now, 2019, 2020, 2021, it would have happened then. It would have been a whole different subject.
Yeah.
People wouldn't have been making fun of her. They wouldn't have attacked her. People would have said, "Oh, let's go out and help her." And I think that was the issue is people weren't trying to help her when it first happened. They were just making fun of her, of shaving her head and attacking the paparazzi with what you call it,
And you
and
gotta
doing what she
think of
needed to
it
do.
like this too. Back then, the media really controlled the narrative, whereas now the media can't control the narrative because so many people got cell phones and they gonna put that
Social
junk on social media. So it's like you can say what you want to say, but there's gonna be somebody that's gonna capture the true story, and they're not gonna be able to make this narrative like, oh, Britney lost it. They're gonna show how the person was banging on her window, and they gonna show her getting out the car, and then they're gonna show her jacking up their car, and anybody could relate to that. If somebody's sitting there banging on your window, asking you crazy questions,
They're flashing in your
and
face.
flashing in
But
your
you know
face,
what?
you gonna
Yeah.
lose it too.
Paparazzi, they interviewed some of the paparazzi that were, dealing with getting those type of shots, and they were honest. They were like, you know what? Like, at sometimes I really did feel bad that I had to, be all up in their personal space and get these crude moments that, really probably should have been private. But then that check.
That check. They were getting
Yeah.
like 50,000 for one picture.
$1 million.
I was like, $1 million for one picture for doing something crazy. I'm like, what? This guy
Yeah.
said Us Weekly was paying like 140,000 a week for pictures.
But the crazy thing about it is that when they were interviewing the one paparazzi, he was Spanish,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he said that he didn't think that what he did was wrong. And he didn't think that that drove her to a break. I'm
Yeah.
like, boy, bye.
Yeah, the paparazzi was one of the key factors. They were one of the key factors driving people crazy. So I can see it.
I mean, even talk to Kim Kardashian. I mean, I feel bad
they
for
live.
her.
The paparazzi made them though. I think they're different. They're a whole different story.
Yeah, but still,
They
like,
live and
when
die
she
by the
was
props.
going through a lot of things, because now that she has a husband and children and all this, you don't see her in the paparazzi like
Correct.
that anymore, because it's like, okay, no, I really have personal stuff that I don't want people to know anything about. So she understand now.
Well, social media and going with the subject and trying to say this off. Social media has allowed for celebrities to tell their side of the story.
Yep.
100%. Because I think about what happened with T.I. and Tiny in that story that we talked about last week. So T.I. jumped on his Instagram Live and talked to the people himself. You
Yeah.
know, the blogs were saying this, that, and the other, but he
He's like,
jumped on
"You
and
don't
said,
need to
listen,
talk to them."
nobody needs to talk about my subject other than me.
Right.
So I'm going to talk about it. So that's
So
what
what he say?
You got to watch the video. We ain't talking about that stuff.
No. Tell me right quick.
I talked about it last show.
No, you said he got on the blog. He said-
Lord have mercy.
Oh my goodness.
But social media has given people a platform to get out to the people. Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Well, I don't think most celebrities on Facebook. They on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. But they get a chance to get out there and tell their side of the story and show their side of the story instantly, so that the news media and the paparazzi can't show what's going on. So if the paparazzi is all in your face, blocking your car, if you got dash cam and they talk about, oh, well, you hit me with the car. No, you jumped in front of the car, taking pictures, not paying attention, so you can't sue me. So it's stuff like that. So we have educated
Definitely.
today.
Yes,
So-
it provided insight to a lot of issues. So it was more than just the legal system and the conservatorship. It was about social media and the paparazzi and mental health. So that's why I was like, man, this really was a good documentary. So
Yeah, see?
have a chance, go watch it. It's on
Check it
Hulu.
out.
The
Yeah.
New York Times presents. And
Yeah,
the
and we're not getting a
episode
single
is
dollar off of
Framing
this,
Britney
so we're not getting a single dollar off of this, so
No,
understand
but
that.
I like it, so I recommend.
Well, this is just something we wanted to talk about it, and we did. And thank you so much, Brittany. We appreciate you coming on and joining us this Thursday and talking about mental health. And Brittany talking about Brittany. Brittany came on to talk about Brittany. So I appreciate you coming on, joining us for episode and talking about what's going on. So go ahead and plug yourself one last time before we head out of here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can follow me at Modasis Fash. That is my fashion brand page. And if you want to follow me personally, that's at Griggs BRIGGZ18. That is on Instagram. Yep, that's it.
Thank you. So, Shantae, what do you want to say in the ending with tonight's Thursday Night Live? What you got to talk about?
Just everybody be fiscally responsible in these upcoming months. You never know when you might need an extra dollar or two. As you can see, different things happen, catastrophes happen all the time. And so let's make sure that we're prepared. Have a little something for a rainy day. Don't spend it all up on everything that you see on Amazon.
Hey, go
I'm
ahead.
out.
Which is
Go
hard
ahead,
to
Jeffrey.
do.
What you got to say? What you got to say?
If you can get a backup generator, because I've been thinking like I should get a backup generator in case we're in a situation like Texas and we don't have no power, or even a couple months ago when I didn't have power because of the storms for like a day or two. So if you can, I would definitely invest or try to invest in some kind of backup generator. You know, that would be safe. That's my thought of the day.
Jeffrey thought of it. All right. So,
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing poignant like everybody else to talk about. I want to say once again, thank you everybody for joining the Three Clarks podcast and always hanging out with us. Like I said, if you can see, we're upgrading. So like even Shantae didn't even know we upgraded. We're upgrading some techniques and we're bringing on guests. And if you know an entrepreneur, if you know somebody who would like to come on the show, and hang out with us. Let us know. Send them our way. We want to talk to entrepreneurs. We want to talk to people, hang out with, talk to subjects, and just have fun. So I appreciate everybody once again. I put we just talked about Rush Limbaugh passing by cancer, so we put the Oral Lee Foundation up there on the screen. So take a look at that. So once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Three Clarks podcast. I have been Dwayne.
You have been Dwayne.
Lord
I
have
am.
mercy.
I am always Shantae.
I'm
See?
sorry.
Y'all see what I got to deal with. Jeffrey got Lord.
I'm Jeffrey.
Yes. And we are the Three Clarks podcast. And y'all see what I deal with on a regular basis. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and catch y'all next time. Y'all have a good one.
We out.
Bye.